Hey, what's up, guys? Chris here from the Blu-ray Critic, and I want to welcome you to my Blu-ray Pickups All update. So I got a few new releases going for this week, which also includes this newly released edition of Birdman of Alcatraz, which is released by Olive Films here in the States on Blu-ray. And this happens to be one of my favorite classic films of all time, starring the legendary Burt Lancaster. And the story focuses on inmate Robert Stroud, who is sentenced to life in solitary confinement after killing a prison guard. So after the inmate suffers from loneliness, he decides to nurse a sick bird back to health and develops a certain sense of passion for it and decides to care for other birds as well. Also ends up getting married to this woman named Stella, played by Betty Field. But when he ends up getting sent to Alcatraz, his passion for caring for birds and his marriage are both threatened. And what's also interesting is after the success of this film, the real Robert Stroud became one of the most popular inmates on Alcatraz, second only to Al Capone, that is. And this is just a powerful film with a great performance by Lancaster, which he also ended up getting an Oscar nomination for. And he was actually seen shedding a few tears during certain scenes, but he asked the director to cut those scenes out. I guess he didn't want the audience to see him crying on screen, but it just goes to show the level of dedication he had for the role. And this film is beautifully directed by John Frankenheimer. Alright, so as far as picture and audio quality, I'm going to rate the image a 4 out of a 5, and the audio mix gets a 4.5 out of a 5. This features the mono track. And for the image itself, it's actually a very clean looking image, just few specks of dirt and debris that show up here and there, which is very minimal and hardly even noticeable. Other than that, it's a soft looking image with a little amount of pop here and there. That's why I'm rating a 4 out of a 5. But for the most part, I was actually quite pleased how great this image looked, especially for a film of this age. And this came out in 1962. And other than that, yeah, you'll be quite pleased with the picture quality. And for special features, you just get a audio commentary, which is with Kate Buford, who is the author of Burt Lancaster and American Life. And this film is featured in the aspect ratio of 1.66, and that is Birdman of Alcatraz, released by Olive Films. And from Arrow Academy, I got the Jean-Luc Godard and Jean-Pierre Gorin 5 films from 1968 through 1971. So when Jean-Luc Godard finished working on his film Weekend in 1967, he decided to shift gears to embark on films that deals with the radical political movements of that era, and created a new kind of film, or as he put it, new ideas distributed in a new way, and decided to collaborate with a young critic and journalist, Jean-Pierre Gorin. Both as a two-person unit, Godard and Gorin wanted to bring issues that mattered most to them and society to the art of cinema. So included here are the 5 films, and they were all originally shot in 16mm, which serve as examples of Godard and Gorin's revolutionary project. And the titles for all 5 of the films are as follows. You get A Film Like Any Other, British Sounds, also known as Sio at Mao, Wind from the East, Struggles in Italy, and also Vladimir and Rosa. And these films were long out of circulation, except for a few bootleg copies which were in terrible quality. So they basically make their Blu-ray debut in the best quality version available around. And you get quite a few fascinating special features that talks more in depth as far as how they brought this great project together. So yeah, that was pretty interesting to see. So these are French films, by the way, in case you didn't know. And the aspect ratio for all the films are in the 1.37 format. And this also includes a 60-page full-color booklet featuring a revised version of a lengthy essay by Michael Witt, which was never before published in English, as well as vintage text by Godard appearing in English for the first time. And as far as the presentation is concerned, my rating for both the picture and audio quality for all 5 of the films is a 4 out of a 5 for both. And considering the fact that they were sourced from the 60mm prints, the print itself for all the movies were kept in really great shape, very stable, with a really nice looking color saturation, which definitely suited the mood and feel of that time period. But you are going to get a bit of softness, which is understandable since they are sourced from the 60mm prints. But grain was intact and yeah, quite pleasing to the eyes. And the audio was really decent for what it was for all 5 of the films. So anyway, that is Godard and Gorin 5 films from 1968 through 1971, released by Arrow Academy. My next pickup is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which has been getting rave reviews across the board, and it's been nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, which could very well end up winning Best Picture. We'll see what happens. But excellent cast. Frances McDormand, been a huge fan of hers, of course. Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell. So yeah, unfortunately I missed this in theaters, but can't wait to check this out. Also has quite a bit of special features, so pretty cool. Next up is one of my favorites from Woody Allen, and this one is Manhattan Murder Mystery, which is a murder mystery comedy film from 1993. So this is released by Twilight Time, and as you know, the releases are very limited to about 3,000. It's quite expensive. It's about $30, and that doesn't include shipping. So, and yeah, unfortunately, you don't get special features with pretty much all Woody Allen films, but you do get the isolated music and effects track and the original theatrical trailer. But yeah, this is just a fun one, man. If you've never seen this one, do give this one a try, and if you can hopefully find it for a decent price if you don't want to pay 30 bucks. And next up is the buddy road trip comedy, The Trip to Spain, with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. And this film is very much in the style of Sideways, also Il Sorpasso, so if you like those type of buddy comedies, it's worth to watch. And it has a lot of dialogue, but really beautiful cinematography, and it's actually the cinematography that grabbed my attention for this. And this happens to be the third film that they have made together, because they did The Trip, as well as The Trip to Italy, which I have here. But first film, unfortunately, isn't on Blu-ray in the States. However, it is available in Great Britain. But yeah, really beautiful looking cinematography in this. And the last film I picked up this week is the comedy The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. And I've seen this film so many times, so obviously I wasn't in a rush to pick up the Blu-ray, but I came across it for a really low price, $4 and change. So I'm like, what the hell? Let me finally add it to my Adam Sandler collection. But, you know, it has a lot of great 80s music, and I'm a huge fan of the 80s, and so is Adam Sandler. That's why he features some of the great songs from that era. All right, so thanks for checking out my latest pickups, guys. And as usual, take care, and I'll see you guys soon in my next update.